Okay, we have a narrated session here with Ragul from my master cycle. He starts in the Ashigarami and I jump over and get into the mount. So anytime you drop from open guard for a footlock, there's always a risk, or leg lock or Ashigarami, whatever it is, there's always a risk that the person gets on top of the fight. It's one of the reasons why you don't want to do that too often, dropping for the feet like that from the open guard. It's different when you're on the bottom of the fight and you're like attacking him from underneath because you're already on the bottom. Anyway, so I'm in the mount here, and always control first, obviously. Put my hand in the collar, looking for the cross collar choke. You can see my right leg. I keep my my knee up slightly and my foot in the ground because that way I can stop the rolls, and also it's slightly harder for him to elbow escape, so it makes my control better. And now I'm slowly edging my hands in deeper and deeper with each jerk. Okay, so he starts in the arm lock position, and he's trying to use his feet to break my arms open. So I use my elbow to lift his south leg, and I scoop it up with my leg, like we call it the elbow escape for the arm bar. It's probably my favourite arm lock escape. Okay, so I'm just trying to get into the Sankaku here, or the 411, or whatever you want to call it. So I took my right leg and go across his legs. I didn't get to triangle them, so I'm switching now back to a cross collar choke, and I'll probably try and get up on top of the fight. Side mount. So I've got his arm trapped. You see I've put my left hand on my head. That's trapping the underhook arm, and that allows me to tack his other arm for the crucifix. I do the shin switch, but his my knee's not on the ground. My left knee's not on the ground, so actually he can wriggle out if he bumps a little bit here, which is what he does. He bumps, he takes his hand out. What I needed to do was get my knee to the ground to properly trap it. Drive my knee over. So back in the mount now. And just like always, just wait to see what happens. Trying to take what's available rather than what I want. So you see how his hand's gone on the outside of my arm now. His right arm's gone on the outside of my arm. Right now, so now I scoop it up, I wrap his head, and I bring my left knee up nice and high. See how I've trapped his arm on the outside? Turn around because we're up against the wall. A little bit of control again, and now I've got quite a good setup here for a mounted triangle or the spiral arm bar. This is a really good attack. It's a really good attack, no gi as well. So I step on the bicep, lift the head, shoot my leg underneath, and lock triangle. So you can see I hold the head with my right hand. I should really put my left hand on the ground, but actually I prefer to skip that step. You put your left hand on the ground in case they bump you in that direction when your foot's on the bicep. But I skip that step in that case. I quite often skip that step. So now I'm going to start in another inferior position. I'm going to have him on my back. Okay, so off we go. So straight away he pulls out his underhook arm. So his overhook arm is his right arm. His left arm was under my armpit. So he takes his arm out. I don't think this is a very good idea because now he's basically got no underhook control. It's very easy for me just to turn my shoulders to the ground. It's hard for him to stop that. And he should have his underhook control. And he should fall to the underhook side so he can do the triple threat. So it's quite easy to escape that back mount just then. Okay, I have him in the guard now. So at the moment I'm just trying to very subtly get my hands near his sleeve so I can control either sleeve, and I'm going to look for a sweep. I love the pendulum sweep. Just wait for the weight to be transferred just slightly. So he's going to lift his weight up and then I hit the sweep. I love the slow motion sweeps. So here you go, look, foot on the ground. I'm not trying to hit him to the side, I'm knocking him 45 degrees. I'm not knocking him over my head obviously, but not directly to the side, 45 degrees. And that works really good, that sweep. Okay, twisted arm control into back control. I flatten him out. This is probably the #1 position in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, the #1. If you get into a street fight, this is the best position where you're on their back, but not only on their back, you're still on top of the fight and they've been flattened out. It does not get any better than that. And then you just grind under the chin and it's over. So let's see which position I start in now. I think he's going to go on my back again. Yeah. So I think I was just telling him just then about the underhook. He's asking why he couldn't hold the back. And I'm telling him now again, look, he's already taken the underhook out. So I block it so he can't get the underhook back in, which makes it easy for me to escape. So I let him back in now. And I'm telling him he shouldn't take that hand out. He should keep that underhook. As soon as you take the hand out, it's too easy for them just to turn. So now I fall to the side that I want, which basically allows me to turn on the overhook side again. That's why he wants me to fall to the underhook side, so he gets more control. I'm blocking his ability to get back up on top of the fight now. I'm holding his chest, I was pushing his legs so he can't remount. As soon as I slide my back to the ground, I know that's the next step. So you need to move to that sometimes slightly earlier. So I've postured up now. Quite often just wait. I like to wait to see what they do. Hands on the biceps, hands on the inside of the biceps, and just wait. They'll open their legs and you can pass. See, he's already opening his legs. Now, of course, if I want to be proactive with the pass, if I want to pass when I want to, then standing pass I think is the best way. So first, before you do any pass, you want to posture. You want to sit up, keep your hips down and your knees wide. So I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to do it in a minute, I think. See how he's grabbing my lapel? I'm going to wait until he's not grabbing anything. Then I sit up. Keep your back straight. Here we go. So I start sitting up. And then when I want to do the pass on my turns, I'm going to hold the lapel and stand up. And then once I stand up, what happens depends on what his reaction is. There's all different passes, but they're all very good. So here we go, I stand up, and now look, he keeps his guard high up my body, so I just step back and bring my knee in the mix. And then from this position, I step over with my left leg, and I slice my knee through. Look for the underhook on the far side. So this is called we call this a rear knee split pass. I'm using my head a lot to drive his head. It's still on the ground next to it, like driving his head. I'm only going to lift it up now. So all the way through that pass, once I got my knee through, I put my head in the ground and I pinched his head with my underhook. Okay, so that's that little arm lock I just did. I've slowed that down the next time I do it. So basically what I do is I use my elbow and my forearm to lift his face by going under the chin, and when he lifts his hand up to defend, I go for the arm lock. So you're going to see me do it again in a minute. So right in this position right now, the biggest threat for him is the DAS, because if I come under his arm now, I could attack for the DAS choke. But I'm just I'm using that hand at the moment to stop his legs from recovering any type of guard. Okay, so here we go. So look, now I'm on side mount. I take my left hand and I go under his chin. Look how I turn his head and I turn it away from me. So when he lifts his arm up, I spin for the arm lock. So I lose the arm lock in this case. He pulls his elbow to the ground. But that's what I did on the previous go. So look, I frame his neck. I turn the face. He lifts his arm, and then I shoot my leg over for the arm lock. It's a very good arm lock. So I grab his other elbow as if I'm going to switch. I was thinking about switching right now. I take my left leg off and switch with the other arm, but I just get up and change my mind. So I'm going to step over, try and lift his elbow for the triangle or arm lock again. Knee on stomach. I step over his head and end up facing his legs. Now I just go for a leg lock, so I fall to the side, pull the legs, cross your feet behind his bum. My legs slip off his bum, look. So I readjust and then he taps. Good job, Regal. Nice roll.